Good evening, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back once again, about 5 minutes early, mainly because I am absolutely exhausted. I did not get that good of sleep last night. Weather change and all, you guys might be dealing with the same things right now, but we must press on. Jonathan Grindle, good afternoon, everyone. Mark Covington, good evening. Same thing, Jonathan Grindle. Nice. So we got 6 watchers here, 7 likes. Wow, 7 and 7. Nice. Well, giving you guys an update. Everything is a go for our trip up to Greene, New York. It doesn't look like I'm going to be up there as long as I thought. It's only going to be for a couple of weeks. It's actually good, though, because Mom can come up with me then, and we'll have fun on the days that I'm off. He's probably not going to need me every single day, but we'll see how it goes. We're not in any rush to get back home either. But I don't think we're going to be up there for Thanksgiving. So we'll probably come back here and spend Thanksgiving with Dad, which will be nice because usually the last few years we've been spending Thanksgiving up in New York. So Dad's kind of been all alone. So it's really working out nicely. Stephen Barber's at Walmart. Nice. Hopefully do some good shopping there tonight. Let me see who this is. Another one of those scam messages. I'm gonna have to stop listing stuff on Craigslist. I'm telling you, all I'm getting lately are these scam calls. It's really becoming an epidemic. Amazon has laser printers on sale. HP Enterprise printers. Nice. Always love HP for LaserJet printers. Really wouldn't buy anything else, to be honest with you. I've had Brothers over the years, and they're decent printers, but cost a lot of money for the toner. HP Enterprise printer. Oh my goodness. I see anything on sale right now. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, it's the same, basically the same one I have, the P3051DN, which is actually a very good printer. The D stands for duplexing, which means it can print on both sides of the page, and the N stands for networking. So it can be hooked up to your router, which is very convenient for most of us. And I'll go ahead and share that link if I can. Nope, a little too long, but it is the LaserJet P3015DN is the one I'm looking at. Don't throw away that big boy shirt. It's a classic. Well, it doesn't have too much longer. It's really gotten stretched out, and I can't really wear an extra large anymore. It just like a moo-moo on me, so I'll keep it as long as I can, but eventually it's going to be relegated to the rag bin. Victor De La Fuente, hope you're having a wonderful day. So far, so good. Really busy, very tired, as usual. So I don't know how long we're going to go tonight, but basically I'm going to go until I start to fall asleep. I actually took... I had a real hard time sleeping last night, allergies, and my mind was going. I decided to take a few of these, the Restores Restful Sleep Melatonin Drops. You can get these pretty much any of the Dollar Trees. I think they still have them available. They're 5 milligrams of melatonin. They come in little gummies. They work really, really well. I've been taking these for a while now, and they help me go to sleep. $2 super chat for the big boy shirt from George Stewart. All right, I guess we're going to have to keep that for a while. Eric goes, my brother one is the cheapest printer I've ever had to run. Toner is $17 and gets me 21,000 pages. Depends on where you get your toner. I mean, you can get toner replacements on eBay really cheap, pretty much for any printer. But the Brother printers that I've had in the past tend to be more expensive to get the refills than the HPs. I was watching, by the way, I was watching Corner Gas, the animated series. Don't know how many of you are really into that Corner Gas at all, but love that show. Makes me laugh every time I watch it. Anyone know of good USB printer server devices? They're actually not good, not cheaply made ones. And if you're talking about print servers, I've always had issues with those. You're gonna stick with something like a Linksys or a Netgear to be your best bet. Raspberry Pi, I wonder, you probably could use those as a print server. I got Milo up here. Do you know I started packing for our trip, and sure enough, the cats instinctively know when we're going to be leaving. And yep, they were really chummy. Baxter was chumming up to me. Now Milo, sitting there right on the bed. He was on this chair. I actually had to kick him off the chair before I started this live stream. Watching the Breeders' Cup from California, Pasadena, George Stewart. Cool, cool. I I never watch it. I never get a chance to. I hardly ever watch any TV anymore. If I watch TV, it's early in the morning when I'm doing my exercises, or like late at night, right before and a little bit after the live streams. About the only time I get a chance to watch TV. Got 13 people here. Nice. Truck Dog. I just got back from cutting lawns and leaf cleanups. Today it's a great money. Yes, it is. I know a few people around here that do it for a living, and they make a great living doing it. And up in New York, a good old friend of mine, his neighbor actually runs a lawn care business, and he makes good money. Hard work, but good money. Must have heard. Oh, we heard somebody opening and closing the garage door. Um, so I am going to be taking up the Yukon. I got everything working the way it's supposed to, with the exception of the cruise control. And I think what's happened with the cruise control, I looked underneath, and it looks like the control module, the cruise control module that controls the brake, has been totally removed. So one of two things happened. Either the brake pedal was replaced with one that didn't have it built on, and they just never bothered putting one back on, or the less likely thing is, for whatever reason, that particular vehicle was ordered without it, and they just use the same stock. So I'm not sure. It's very possible. Either one of those scenarios could be true, but I'm not going to worry about it. I am not a big fan of cruise control. Never really get to use it much anyway, so just going to deal with it the way it is. Jonathan Grinnell, they also just started posting the Black Friday ads online. i7 laptop for $499 if you purchased it from Microsoft. I think I will be going to Black Friday sales. It'll probably be once we get back here, but I just really miss it. I haven't done it the past few years, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. They make for some really fun videos. Eric goes, I use cruise control more than I don't. LOL. I guess it just depends on where you live. Around here, and a lot of the highways that we travel, a lot of it being Interstate 81 and Interstate 95, just can't use it because chances are once you set it, about a minute later you have to turn it off because somebody's going slow or there's traffic built up. So you just never get a chance to use it. Oddly enough, the cruise control works perfectly fine on the 96 Tahoe, just doesn't work on the Yukon. And yeah, I actually had my local shop look into it, and they couldn't find anything wrong either. They said the linkage under the hood near the firewall is there and intact, but the rest of the system isn't there. So I'm thinking that again, either it wasn't fully installed, but from the factory in that vehicle, or more likely, at one time they had to replace the brake pedal, and they just replaced it with one that didn't have the cruise control option. Oh, I'm sure you had a lot of traffic during going towards the show. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to dealing with traffic on the way up. I've actually started planning the route because we are going to be visiting Eric. Eric, we are definitely coming to visit you. I just need to figure out exactly how I want to go. Waze has me going up pretty much Interstate 95 till I get to you, and I really don't know if I want to do that because 95 Interstate 95 is nicknamed America's parking lot for a reason. It is a very, very heavily traveled highway, and I always hit traffic on it. Mr. Smash 96, I will always prefer older vehicles made before 2000. So do I. As a matter of fact, I would say 2000 and earlier. So I'm going to put my Buick right in that category because it is a 2000. But after that, it got too heavy with the technology, too much of everything being computer controlled. Truck Dog, the Yukon has the 5.3. No, it actually has the Vortex 6000. It's the 6.0, which means it is really hard on gas if you are riding it around town. If you're on the highway, not so much. Highway, it gets about 16 miles a gallon, 17 on a good day, but around town, 11, 12 at most. Like the old Buicks and the Camrys, they won't die. I've never seen them die. I think the only Camry I'd ever seen bite the dust, and it wasn't really a powertrain issue, it was up north, and it just rotted out. And that was a big problem with Japanese vehicles back, 80s, 90s, even into the early 2000s. The steel that they used to make those vehicles, this is the time when they were actually made over in Japan, not made here in the States, was inferior. It was actually thinner. It wasn't as high a grade. So they would tend to rot out. And up north, you can go into many of the junkyards and you will find a lot of these older Japanese vehicles that would run perfectly fine, but the reason they're there is they're totally rotted out. The rockers are gone, the subframe is gone, all the suspension is rotted out, and a lot of times you can go to the doors and just kind of flex them back and forth. Really a shame because they were very well made vehicles, other than the fact they didn't use very good steel. Brad Smith says hi. Jonathan Griddle says paint. Okay. Built Ford tough. That's what they always say. I don't know how true that is today, but yeah, I mean, back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, Fords were really tough. I mean, if you had your choice between a GM and a Ford for work, you would choose the Ford. The Ford could handle the jobs more than the Chevys or the GM vehicles could. The GM vehicles were good for light duty to maybe medium duty, and yes, they always rode better. They had a softer suspension. But if you were doing heavy duty work, towing, maybe hauling like gravel or pay dirt from like a mining facility, you wanted that Ford because it would hold up way better than the GM vehicles would. Truck Dog, you can get $400 Mako paint job for the cheaper old cars. It's worth it. You can for most vehicles. Now, I'll preface that by saying if your vehicle requires prep, they are going to charge you a lot more. That $400 paint job is if you do all the prep work. In other words, sand your vehicle down, uh, fill in all the little dents that it has, pretty much you get everything ready. So all they have to do is go in there and paint it. Then yeah, you can get that $400 paint job for most vehicles. But if you want them to do all the prep work, the sanding, put all the primer on, all that stuff, you're looking more like $1,000, $1,500. True story. I went and had my 96 Tahoe. I got a quote from our local Mako shop to have that done. And yeah, that needed some work. It needed to have the roof sand and a few other dings and dents fixed. To get that Tahoe repainted with a decent paint job would have cost me, the quote was $2,400. Now, I don't know about you. I am not ready to spend $2,400 on a vehicle that I paid $1,000 for. So, make a long story short, I decided not to do it. That vehicle's not going, as much as I like it, and I really do like it, that vehicle is definitely not going to be getting a new paint job. Yeah, absolutely. That is about what the vehicle is worth. I could probably sell that Tahoe for about $2,500. And I'm not going to put that much in a paint job because it's got 230,000 miles. And what if the transmission or the engine gave out in 5,000 miles? I would have just I would have taken $2,500. Might as well have taken that and just burned it in a fire. And it's fine the way it is. I mean, yeah, it's not the prettiest vehicle in the world, but it's safe. I mean, there are no leaks of any kind in it. So I'm just going to live with it as it is. Mark Covington, hey Matt, about how many cans of spray paint does it take to repaint an entire 2008, my entire 2008 Chevy HHR? Whew. I don't know if there's enough spray paint in the state of Virginia. Now, but all kidding aside, looking at what I had to use for mine, I would think at least 40 or 50 cans, but you probably wouldn't want to do that. If it came down to it, you'd be better off just having a shop do it. It would definitely look better, and you'd probably be paying just as much to do it yourself. Truck Dog 99, how many cars do you guys have in total? We have 4. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. I have 3. Dad has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess we got about 8. If I'm counting right, I'm thinking we have about 8 cars total. Now that sounds like a good idea, Eric. He said, as I do all the body work myself on the S10, they're just going to clear over the truck, kind of a rat rod kind of thing. That's getting really popular now to keep the original patina. What people are doing with older vehicles is, as long as they're not, like totally rotted out, they'll actually keep the paint as it is, maybe sand it a little bit, and then they'll just put a clear coat over it to protect what's there. That's a good idea. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just do a Google search for rat rod clear coat, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. What's your dream vehicle? Well, I would have to say, if money was no object, I would like to have probably like a 1996 or 97 Suburban in mint condition. We're talking really low miles, Vortec 5.7, just one that's been really taken care of. And I've seen them around, but if they're in really good shape, they want close to 8 to 10 grand for them, and I'm not in any position to buy that. Now, if I sold all the vehicles I had now, I probably could, but don't know if that's ever going to happen. Mine is a Tesla Model S or a 2020 F350 Limited. Cool. Playing with Fire. Brad Smith's going to go to a secret screening. I've never been to one either. I mean, I've been to like post, what do they call it? Pre-opening day movies. Like sometimes our theater will get the movie in on Thursday when it officially comes out on Friday. But yeah, nothing like that. SUV. Pradkins likes SUVs. I think everybody likes SUVs now. It's amazing. Nobody wants to drive cars, and for good reason. When you're on the highway, that's all you see. And if you're you're the lowly person in the car, and there's a 5 or 6 vehicle pileup, chances are you're not going to be coming out of that too well. Which one of my vehicles is my favorite to drive? Mark Covington asks. I would actually have to say the Tahoe, the 96 Tahoe, I think is the most fun to drive. Now, the Yukon is arguably the more comfortable of the two. But when it comes to the feel of it, I like the Tahoe because the Yukon is a drive-by-wire system. In other words, the gas pedal is not physically connected to the throttle, whereas it is in the Tahoe. So I actually have more control over the vehicle driving the Tahoe than I do the Yukon, and I just like that. I like to have more control over my vehicle. Not to mention the fact I'm still not used to the all-wheel drive and traction control. The combination of those two things in the Yukon make it very different to drive. I'll give you a good example. Like when you take off, you really don't have a lot of power until it gets past first gear. In first gear, there really isn't a lot of power because of the traction control system is fighting the all-wheel drive at the lower speeds. But once it gets past first gear, goes in the second and third, you pretty much have all the power that you need. It's a common issue with these Yukons, and it's nothing that can be fixed. It's just kind of the way it's designed. And the idea of it being at lower speeds, that's when you would lose control, when you would start spinning out. And that's why it's the power is reduced between first and second gear. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have traction control in that at all. All-wheel drive, yeah, it's nice if you run into bad weather, but the traction control should never have been installed in that. Oh, Jimmy, truck dog. My neighbor has a 2001. I'm sorry, guys. I'm very tired tonight. Has a 2001 Lincoln Navigator with a 5.4 that has an air ride leak, so the battery constantly dies when it sits. It's in good shape and it's a nice looking vehicle. I would change that air ride system out for a traditional suspension. As a matter of fact, probably going to have to do that eventually on the Yukon, which also has an air ride. I pity him having that 5.4 though, because the 5.4 had timing chain issues. I think it was the timing chain or something like that. I know it had something to do with the timing. But yeah, I mean, if you keep an eye on it, you do all the maintenance. From what I understand, they're still good engines, but you got to watch that on those 5.4 Tritons. Eric goes, I keep thinking about pulling the traction control fuse on my Silverado because it does some goofy systems. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, on the Yukon, it's really different to drive with it, especially with all-wheel drive. Is your Silverado all-wheel drive, Eric? I don't remember if you ever told me that. Oh, man. Allergies are terrible. Eric goes, those retrofit kits for those navigators are about $1,000 and will leave you with a service air ride light on. I would still do it. Honestly, I would still do it because those air ride systems are a royal pain in the butt. And when they start to go bad, they can cost you all of that and more to get them fixed properly. We had to do the same thing with the Lincoln Town Car. All of them, all the air ride systems in those went bad after a while. And we wound up just changing them to conventional springs and shocks. Reviews for noobs. I need to go have a shower. Hope you're still on when I get back in 20 minutes. I'm gonna try. Really, really fighting it tonight. I took a couple of those melatonin drops, and they're ready to put me out. I really need to get some good sleep tonight because last couple of nights I've had maybe 5 or 6 hours of light sleep, and if you know what I'm talking about, if you're a light sleeper, you know how bad it is to not get that REM sleep that your body really needs to be rejuvenated. Eric goes, by the way, I hope people like the video that I just finished uploading. I have about 7 hours into the editing and uploading. Wow. Let me put that in my to watch list. I can't make any promises now because it's crazy because we're going to be leaving Tuesday and I have so much stuff I have to do. Last minute Charlie here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to count how many times I actually yawn tonight. It's crazy. There we go. I'll have it in my history at least. Eric goes, it really makes me upset. I shot 20 minutes of video that I didn't get because the camera wasn't on. If it was the GoPro, that happened to me a few times too. I bet we can get to 40 likes. I'll bet you we'll get there. Brad Smith says, hope you have a good trip. Well, thank you. I think we will. We always enjoy it. We always enjoy traveling. Still getting used to it. Yeah, matter of fact, I still have my GoPros, which I really need to consider selling. I have the Hero 3 white, I think it is. I got from a garage sale, then my Hero 5 black, which I never use. I probably should, but I never liked the audio quality. I need to get myself like one of those Rode lapel mics. If I had one of those, then yeah, I would definitely consider using it more. But using the GoPro with the built-in microphone is just terrible. I mean, it literally sounds like I'm talking down an elevator shaft. That's exactly what it sounds like. Checking on the weather. I'm hoping we're not going to have a rainy trip up. I don't think we're supposed to, but you never know. No, it still looks good. Only a 30% chance. And that is election day. So mom and I will probably have to leave later because we do want to vote. And I think the polls open around 6, and we usually start heading up around 5 a.m. So yeah, I think we're going to be getting a late start heading up to New Jersey. Hint, hint, hint. Jonathan Grindle, I'll have to be careful when I like videos because it'll flood my YouTube with unnecessary stuff. And for good mic, go with the mod mic. Mod mic? Mod mic. I'll have to look at that. Antrelon Mod Mic 4.0. Let me bookmark that real quick. Is that a wireless one? Because I definitely need it to be wireless. That is really a necessity for me. Mod mic. They do make a wireless. Yeah, I'm looking at that too. Mod mic, attachable boom microphone. Yeah. It needs to be wireless because I can't deal with having wires like that. That would drive me up the wall. Mod mic wireless. There we go. Let's see. Looks like they're mainly for business applications, so I'm seeing here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Here we go. Mod Mic 5, 130 bucks. Yeah, that's probably the one right there. Is that it? Yep. With black DAC headphone amplifier. Yeah, it looks like that plugs in wirelessly. Yeah, I appreciate the tip on that. I'll have to look into that later. Just got a notification for Eric's video, Mr. Smash 96, and i360. For some reason, my computer clock has 7:29. That's why I'm late. Check that out. Isn't it tomorrow? We have fall back for times. Remember, you got to set your clocks back 1 hour. You got spring ahead and fall back. I hate having you guys see me on. 37 likes. Yeah, when we get to 40 likes, I'm going to have to end this because you guys notice I'm not very chatty tonight. Yeah, I am. When I say I'm tired, I am like ready to go to bed. You should sleep, Matt. I don't want to be rude. Oh, I'm sure I'll sleep good tonight. Let's get to 40 likes here, and then I'm going to call it a night. Eric goes, when I use the waterproof case, the sound is terrible. The case I have now, the sound is pretty good, but not from a distance. Rebecca was right next to me, and you couldn't hear her. Yeah, if it's right in front of you, if the GoPro is like maybe a foot away from you, the sound is decent. But if it's like 2, 3, 4, 5 feet away, especially when we start getting like the 4 or 5 foot range, then yeah, the sound gets very muffled. Well, thank you, Nick. He says, good night, Matt. Good stream as always. Do a few more minutes. Anybody got any more questions? I want to give you guys something that you could watch because I'm not going to be doing another one for at least 2 or 3 days. Just not going to have the time. And yeah, I am watching my just one more. What is it? It's just one more episode. Just one more episode. I have not seen the new Terminator movie. Maybe when we go up there, it's something I would like to do. Everyone, please be sure to set your clocks, watches, etc. right before you go to bed this evening. Is it tonight? Is it really tonight? I thought it was Sunday night. Oh, okay. I'm glad. Glad you guys told me that. Sonic Wang, boxers, briefs, or commando? Boxers during the day, commando at night. Hopefully that answers your question. There must be a Windows bug caused my time to change early. Ooh. Could be. Could be. Nothing I've heard of, though, anyway. All right, that is it. We're at 41 likes, 42 likes. I am going to end this live stream. I am exhausted. Hopefully, you guys will have a great evening. Shout out once again to George Stewart for the $2 super chat, $1.99. I'm rounding up. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed evening, everybody.